Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I want to first alert everyone in the room that we have completely changed our presentation. Over the last couple months, I don't know if you noticed these things happening, but a lot of things have been happening. It's been a crazy time in this industry. Craziest that we've ever seen. And I say we, I mean us old men of the old folks of the SEO space have been in this since 2001. So this is definitely the fastest I've seen things change. And I'm going to try to position us, help us find that way forward. For link building, for sure, I'm a link builder by trade, but also more broadly as we try to create visibility opportunities for our clients and for the companies for whom we work. Let me start here. This is what really set me off, though. So I was so excited. I got to go to Google I/O this year. It was unbelievable. It was a really cool experience. It's like going, your favorite rock band, you're like rocking out. This is Google, all right? And it's absolutely insanely crazy. I'd never been to Mountain View before. And so it was just a really exciting experience. And then somehow I was also invited, as a link builder, this was funny for me, with a bunch of SEOs into a private meeting with Danny Sullivan and I can't remember the guys, I should, one of the search engineers. And it was a strange delegation. It was a strange moment to be a part of, to watch SEOs. Groveling is not the right word, but certainly struggle for leverage with Google, all right? What did they ask? That's all over here on the left. What, if we're number one, even if we're number one, I'm still on page 2 because of all the AIO, because of the AI mode. I'm gone. Why would I even try? What's the point? You're just gonna synthesize my brand into oblivion, right? Nobody said that specifically, but this was kind of the vibe of the room. And then, my favorite, and no one said this either, but where are my 10 blue links, right? What's going on? Their answer, which was, this is Danny Sullivan, and he has to say this, but make non-commoditized content. Well, what? Why? It's never going to get seen. You're going to synthesize my brand out. You're going to take my net new facts, my net new data, my net new schemata, and you're going to bring it into the answer without giving me credit, without giving me any traffic. It's scary. This was a scary moment to be a part of, right? And this is where we live now, right? This is where we live. So I made my frequently unasked question presentation. Was so excited. It's done. I presented it at World IA Day, the information architecture folks. And it just didn't sit right anymore. So I made a new one. And now my preamble is taking, I'm preambling too much. So what did Google tell us? Create non-commoditized content, give us new data, ground our AI mode, right? This was, they announced AI mode as AIO was taking over the SERPs, right? And so now it's just this moment where you're like, okay, it's everything has changed. You gotta hope for a citation, expect no clicks, and then get out there and get us some more data, okay? So you can hope for the next, maybe the next time you'll get visibility. This isn't foolproof, right? But this is a starting point for how do we survive? How do we survive? How do we help our clients survive? How do we as in-house folks help enable our brands to survive? And this presentation is from the perspective of a client of ours in the online education space. So we undertook a study with them. And well, first, let me, okay. I'm trying to say all the things at once. So the concept that I want to have land for you guys, what I want you to go home with today, is the notion of friction-inducing latent unasked questions. These are the questions that people don't know to ask, but that have a profound impact on their success, on their ultimate success. So, FAQs, we know this, right? You're going back to school. How much money does it cost? Who pays for it? You know, you're mid-career, you're going back to school. Well, there's a lot of friction-inducing latent unasked questions that are kind of not being asked that could really sink the boat for this poor mid-career prospective student. Who watches the kids while I study for the next 18 months, all right? If we're not asking that, we are going to sink, all right? Who takes on extra shifts at work for me? How do I talk to my boss? How do I negotiate and navigate? Now, there's no keyword demand for this stuff, folks. So this is a weird, as an SEO, it's weird for me to tell you guys, hey, quit with the keyword research, forget it. I'm not saying that, but I am saying there's a lot of information that your audience needs that it doesn't know to ask for. And it's your job to figure out what that is and tell them. So you can all go now, just kidding. All right, so a little bit more, gonna bear down on this notion just a little bit more. They exist where your customers fail, even if they bought your thing, whatever you sell. They're hallucination adjacent. You heard it here first. If not the actual place where AI is hallucinating and generalizing, right? It just doesn't know the answer to things. It can't predict it because it hasn't been said before. Not overtly necessarily, not in triplets and whatnot. It's the gap between what's known and what's required for benefit maximization of your offering. Now, I'm flipping this idea around of customer lifetime value. All right, I love customer. We have customers that have been with us for years, and I love it, and I love them. But how do we maximize the benefit of our offering to our customers? And that's the other place that answering these friction-inducing latent unasked questions is going to help you excel, because you're going to be qualifying for the best possible customers. Okay, little note, I was working even this morning on this presentation, so there's going to be a little bit of a hiccup between where my designer left off and where I stepped in, so bear with me. So why do we answer these FLUQs, Garrett? I appreciate you asking. Okay, well, this is what I'm trying to say, but also it's more clear, like I think very specifically and carefully, and I think very thoughtfully about what are we talking about? What exactly does resolving our ICPs friction-inducing latent unasked questions do? It gives them foresight. You give your audience foresight that saves them cognitive, emotional, reputational, and time costs, particularly in last-minute crisis response. You're saving their butts in the future by giving them information now that will help them. I want to make it even more clear. This is true though. It's a friffy. Another one, you heard it here first. Take this slide and show it to your boss and say, we're going to save the company with friffies. Okay, Garrett, come on, seriously. Okay, this is what happens after you answer one of these friction-inducing, I forget the latent unasked questions. I swear I practice this. And it's measurable. It is measurable. You can stand up for yourselves, for your own content, a model for evaluating whether you are answering these things. Now, why would this matter? What would be helpful? Oh, why would we do that? Damn, I didn't have that. I thought I put this slide in. Man. So why do you answer these? Because you'll keep your customers longer, and it's a slide at the end. Never mind, let's keep going. So step 2, what do we do? How do we find these incredible FLUQs and answer them? Well, you're going to go to your customer service logs. You're going to go where the problems are, where the friction lives. Okay? Forums. Reddit. Yep, Reddit. You're going to go to your reviews, your on-site FAQs. You're going to look at AI's answers to your ICP's prompts. Where are the hallucinations happening? Where are the overgeneralizations happening? You have to be hungry for these things. You have to be focused on finding the gaps, finding these places where there's missing information for your audience that's preventing them from maximizing the benefit of your offering. 11 minutes. Okay, I got this. What was it? Please interrupt Garrett when I talk about 4 especially. Okay, I got it. I got it. This is one of my favorites. Number 4 is one of my favorites because this is where, as a link builder, we get to use our old-fashioned link building skills. So we can actually compile all of the cited resources for an ICP's prompts for a very specific offering, whatever that offering may be. And we're mostly pulling these out of ChatGPT right now. And then we put all the, now this is our list of people whose doors we knock on, and bring them some friffies. Who remember friffies? Hold on. Yeah, you bring them some of these things to put on their page. You may have to pay them. We don't know. Whatever happens to get on this page, you get on the page. What pages am I talking about? I'm talking about cited resources for bottom of the funnel prompts that your ICPs are typing to make a purchase decision, okay? You want to be on those pages that are getting cited. You want your pages cited as well, right? But you also have to, if you're a link builder, anyways. All right, it makes sense for the link building. It was just nice to find out like something that made sense from a link building perspective. Okay, you're here to make facts. Okay, new facts. This is your job now. You don't have to do it, but I'm suggesting humbly. So we had a hypothesis that prospective students thought or believed that if I got admitted to school, that meant that all my stakeholders, my partner, my boss, my kids, my coworkers, all my stakeholders are going to be happy and excited for me. And, our hypothesis was that wasn't true. Okay. So we surveyed 500 students. We did one-to-one interviews with 24. And guess what? The folks that pre-negotiated with their stakeholders had more success in school. They were more successful. Okay, cool. So what now? So we have a fact. We have a fact, right? This is a new fact. Nobody knows this. This is like a Bitcoin, right? It's a fact coin. This is great. So you want to answer this is the slide I was thinking of earlier. You want to answer your FLUQs with facts, with new facts that resolve your this is too much, isn't it? It's like too many different things that. So you're sparing your poor audience the cognitive, emotional, reputational, and temporal cost of last-minute crisis response. Now, what did that actually look like for our client? So this is the fun part. When we got all the data back, and we pretty much knew that if you didn't talk to your partner before you went back to school, you're not going to be successful. It wasn't like a crazy hypothesis, but then we had the data, right? We could show this, we could prove it. So we thought about the kinds of unasked questions that are probably occurring at different phases and stages of the close of the purchase decision cycle. So what hidden costs or stakeholder conflicts could derail this decision? Well, how do we answer into that? Well, we're going to make an empathy mapper tool. We didn't build this, but we have a long guide to doing this. But we built a prototype. I say we are the writer, who actually was a journalist. She vibe coded a stakeholder empathy mapper tool. I was so excited for this. Now, it's not. I'm not, giving this to the client, but it's a prototype that we could say, hey, look, we stood this up. So why not make this particular tool available by MCP? So other people, when they're in chat, they could log, they could just call right over from their chat to this tool, to the stakeholder empathy mapper tool. It's going to help me ask the right questions of the right people. Make sure that I am a successful student. All right. This was an interesting one. I have, another example of crisis, a potential crisis for our students. I have a test at the end of the week that I didn't know about, or it's a surprise test or something, and I need extra help at work. So again, we came back. So the fact, this was the fact right here. The stakeholder negotiation predicts improvement, but we had to pull that forward into content answers to the where these kinds of problems actually arise, where they actually happen. So, scripts for difficult conversations, for example. How do you reallocate childcare? Folks with kids, hey, I need you to take the kids. Is that usually an easy conversation? Not always. Sometimes it can be. Depends on the day. But it can be very. These are all things that can be very fraught if you don't have the script already written for yourself. So why not, as the provider, as the online college, why not write these things for your prospective students? Okay, how do I keep people on my side? This is going to be 18 months. How do I keep them on my side? Well, the ROI tracker, but not the student's ROI, right? It's the ROI for their partner, for where they work. This is going fast, you guys. Yes, is content your product now? Is content? Yes, it is. Okay, here's how. So we're thinking we're calling them echo blocks. Another one, this is at least my third or fourth, net new crazy for you guys today. All right, echo blocks. These are just the formats that are especially appealing to large language models when they're trying to understand a concept, especially a net new fact, right? We're thinking in terms of, I think this is a thing my developer, when I was going over this presentation with him, really pushed back on me using the word triplet. He's like, it has a very particular, but I just like it because of the causal triplet, all right? So I went with it, and if it's confusing, I'll blame my developer for not fighting hard enough. So and then we take our facts, our net new facts, and then we turn them into an FAQ, a format that's known and loved by LLMs. So, anything else here that I need to talk about? I don't think so. Okay. Now, you got your new fact. Yes, you did it. You got a new fact. What do you do with it? Well, you're gonna put it on your website for sure. Tooltips, your FAQs, wherever, help center. You wanna talk about it on your social media. Oh, God, keep going, Garrett. You also have collaborative spaces or surfaces, they're calling them now, which I love this. So we could do guest posting. We do collaborative thought leadership on somebody else's website, community engagement. You get onto Reddit, go tread carefully. Community PR, which Lee's going to be talking about tomorrow. Everybody go to his session. And then these emergent spaces. Guys, this is where we're going to be living soon, inside other people's MCPs, okay? This is where your brands have to live. Inside the AI, I don't know, don't ask me. But you need to be able to be callable and relevant and make sense in other people's frameworks, other people's MCPs, and that's all you can ask me about it. Don't ask me any more questions about it. So control spaces, you're going to have solid markup. You're going to be thinking about 200 token chunks, and this is straight from my developer who's building Zofu for us right now, zofu.com for us right now. This is his belief. You can try it out and see what happens, but the 200 token chunks at the top of the page are what really seem to be all that LLMs, so that from his perspective, from what he was seeing, what they're really looking at closely. From the collaborative perspective, you're structuring your answers hold on, with these things, with echo blocks, that's right, echo block formats, right? And then in these emergent spaces, again, you're really working to make sure that the way you're talking about yourself and your brand and your facts are compression resilient, and they're going to survive synthesis. And you do that again with this kind of structure. And then also, you really need to be thinking about what can you be serving into other people's chat interfaces, especially if you're in the B2B space, B2B SaaS. You guys are going to be there's no more UX, it's going away. You're going to be chatting with each other's tools, and they're going to be calling each other's tools from a chat interface. So this is where I believe that content is going to. That's why I'm thinking about content as a product. So what do? You got to track what gets reused, publish it, track what gets reused, and then track what happens. And then you can also be thinking about some digital PR for your frippies. Ask us about that after the presentation. But you're going to be seeing things that happen, like lower drop-offs. This is particularly for our college client, lower drop-offs, higher conversions, fewer support escalations. And then you can do some digital PR work for your new facts, guys. You made new facts. That's what we should be going for, net new facts. Here, do this. Run a micro test. Hit your high traffic page. See what might be friction-inducing there. We have a custom GPT we stood up that has all the best practices that we've seen so far come out, from Mike King to, well, that's about it right now. No, there's like looking at knowledge graph. So we've torn apart to our best of our knowledge, the best practices, and we put it all into a GPT, and it also knows what FLUQs are, and so you could say, hey, look at this page and tell me what you could see. What are we leaving out that could be making a huge difference for our audience? Answer one of these, make sure it's in a causal triplet, a FAQ, a checklist. Publish it, and certainly you try to promote it if it's promotable or promotion worthy. Get it out there. Okay, build your flux capacitor to stay visible. You need net new facts, structured for reuse. Engineer to survive synthesis, and that's going to be the tough part, right? Surviving synthesis. And one of the things there's two things that came home from the being in the room while SEO was kind of brushed off by Google. And it was, what I heard was, Google saying, hey, figure out how to make us look good. Literally, they said that. It was a very weird thing to hear Google say. So that was one little clue I took home. The other one that I want to share with you guys, and this is a non sequitur, forgive me, But it was the notion, and this is my interpretation, not what anybody said, but it was based on what someone said. But I got the impression that Google search is not in charge anymore. And I got that impression because at least once, maybe twice, I heard Danny say that they didn't know about some of the rollouts that they had done with AIOs. They didn't know. Jim and I didn't tell anybody. Who's running the show? Paid search, of course, but it was astounding. It gave me a real sense of, oh, this is a different Google now. Everybody in this room knows that, okay, that was a non sequitur. Trying to get back. Okay. To build your AI visibility engine, you got to think about actual infrastructure, standing up infrastructure. This isn't content ops. It can be, you can start there and you should. But I really think that this calls for a net new way of thinking about creating content, thinking about the audience. That's it. Guys, I finished early. Woo! Oh, this is for all my formula fans. We are working towards this though. This is a measurable thing. You guys got 2 more minutes? So working backwards from the belief that I'm already feeling like this is crazy saying about working backwards from the belief, or this is measurable, that humans run on calories, right? Well, could we extend that into a formula for helping us understand the value of content based on the caloric load? First of all, the cost to read it and understand it, the cognitive cost to understand something new. How do we make sure that the return to the reader is greater than the cost of reading it? This is a fun and interesting exercise, and we have a formula now. And this is net new from yesterday, so it's not a thing, but I'm gonna make it into something. And then the next, I'm really excited about this formula, the unanswered FLUQ load. Watch out for those, because they get real heavy. You don't want to see any FLUQ load on your audience. You want to see this last solution, or last formula here, which is the answered FLUQ. Guys, thank you. Really appreciate your time today. Thank you for being here with me today. We're all in this together. Thanks all.